Holdy hoping that he'll be the first man to be a two-time winner this year. Meanwhile, now we're moving to the semifinal round of Pro Stock. Geoffrey Bailey and Jerry ECKMAN will be our first pair. This is an entirely different type of division now. These machines shaped like production cars, 500 cubic inches with gasoline rather than the nitromethane that are running funny cars in top fuel. They're normally aspirated with carburetors, have 4-speed transmissions, and are slightly heavier at 2,350 pounds. Point standings show Allen and Christian on top. The key factor here, Butch Leal and Morris Johnson Jr. didn't qualify among the top 16.
Well, Jerry ECKMAN there, who's the defending Summer Nationals champion, he barely qualified, got the last spot, number 16. But sometime between qualifying and second round early today, Jerry ECKMAN found some horsepower. He defeated the points leader, Bruce Allen, the famed rear and Morrison Beretta, in the far lane. Let's take a look at just how close that race was. Jerry ECKMAN in the near lane, the bright yellow Trans Am. Far lane is Bruce Allen. They can see each other now with their peripheral vision, and neither driver, I'm sure, knew who won when this contest was over. And that gave ECKMAN a shot at the semifinal round, and this man, Jeff Bailey. Now, Bailey got here in interesting fashion as well. In round number 2, Warren Johnson was his victim. Well, actually, Johnson committed suicide. Watch in the far lane. The blue and white Oldsmobile will move just a bit too quick. You see the Christmas tree out in front, and the red light glows at the bottom of the tree. Automatic disqualification for Warren Johnson. Jeff Bailey, who has never been this far in competition, now faces Jerry ECKMAN, the semis in Pro Stock.
So a different kind of pressure now for Bailey in the near lane. Engines revving, waiting to move now on the lights, and a red light on the near side. The pressure has gotten to Bailey. He fouls, and just like Warren Johnson before him, he is disqualified. It'll be ECKMAN advancing to the finals with a 755, 182 miles per hour. What a shame for Geoffrey Bailey. Let's go back to the top fuel pits now. Here's Don.
You can tell by Fuzzy Carter's face, it's over 100 degrees out here this afternoon. And as we go into the semifinals of Top Fuel, our 4 competitors are Hill versus Snow and STUTZ versus AMATO. I just don't think the STUTZ can handle AMATO this afternoon. I think he'll be the easy winner. But the Hill versus Snow is another situation. Hill with a performance advantage, but Snow with a revolutionary high-gear car with one disadvantage. He just changed the engine again. So that gives the nod to Eddie Hill on the strength of the 526 for this round.
Township Raceway Park in New Jersey for the Budweiser Summer Nationals. I'm Gary Gerould along with Don Garlits and Steve Evans. Record temperatures right around the century mark. A lot of hot, hard work going on in the pit, Steve Evans.
Well, this may be the best crew in all of funny car racing. Dale Armstrong and the guys for Kenny Bernstein, they've got that motor completely apart. They do that every single round just to make sure that nothing is left to chance. We're in the Ford Thunderbird of Bob Glidden as he heats up the tires prior to his semifinal round competition. His opponent will be Mark Powick. Now, right there, you can see that maze of levers. That controls a clutchless 4-speed transmission. You see Bob right now selecting reverse gear. You don't have to depress the clutch. Now, Mark Powick, he faces that same shifting situation, all of those levers on board. Powick was runner-up at the Winter Nationals earlier this year. He was beaten by Butch Leal, who, as Gary mentioned, failed to qualify here. Now, earlier today, Tony Christian, the man number 2 in points, the winner of the Mid-South Nationals, was in the far lane. This was round 2 action, and Christian was a heavy favorite over young Powick. Christian in the far lane just steadily fell back, however. His car was not performing properly, and that allowed Mark Powick to take a reasonably easy victory in round number 2 and gives him the opportunity to race this man, Bob Glidden, winner of 61 NHRA titles. Now, in round number 2, it was Kenny DELCO who fell victim to the red and white Thunderbird of Bob Glidden. Let's look back at it. Glidden in the near lane, the white machine in the far lane. That is Kenny DELCO, a real tough young customer in the Pro Stock ranks. But here, he was humbled a bit by the 8-time champion, Glidden. So, here is the last race in the semifinals, and again, we're on board with Bob Glidden.
Glidden working from the near lane, trying to generate some momentum. He got his 1 victory of the year at Columbus in June. The only man to win twice in this division. Bruce Allen has already been eliminated. Glidden away, but Powick sets at the line. This race is over as we go on board and we watch Glidden now go up, hit the lever for the chute. He advances to the final round. And for Powick, bitter disappointment as he just coasts it out. So the final pairings now have Glidden going against Jerry ECKMAN. Glidden with the quicker elapsed time in the semifinal round has lane choice. Meanwhile, in the pits, ECKMAN, who incidentally is the defending Summer Nationals champion, is hard at work with his crew, changing a transmission. It's hot, hard work. Earlier, Steve Evans reported on one man who's found a method to beat the heat.
On a day when the heat index has hit 115 degrees, I never thought I'd be envious of a top fuel driver having to strap into his race car and wait for 15 or 20 minutes. Well, then there's Eddie Hill. Take a look at this, guys. An air-conditioned helmet, a one-of-a-kind, and it's true air conditioning. Through those little tubes flows coolant that's housed in a cylinder just behind the seat, and there's enough in there to last him the entire weekend. Now, it flows up to a thermostat in the cockpit, so poor Eddie doesn't get too cool. Now, he says this is just the tip of the iceberg. He plans on debuting an air-conditioned vest at the next race.
Well, any little advantage in 100-degree temperatures certainly could be put to good use on this day in New Jersey. We're ready now for the semifinal top fuel round. Eddie Hill goes against Gene Snow. Snow, of course, has made an engine change, and Hill is hoping that this will be the day that he gets his third career victory. On the near side, Hill away quickly, and problem for Snow. On board with Eddie Hill, the reaction of the crew as he has advanced now to the finals of the Summer Nationals.
Gary, it's obvious with that engine change between rounds that the crew just did not have enough time to tune the clutch and the fuel system properly. Snow gets off the line beautiful, makes a nice start, but that's all there was to it. The tires go up in smoke, and Hill goes to an easy victory.
And at the far end, Hill is pulling off that air-conditioned helmet, ready to talk with Steve.
Eddie Hill came out of the car laughing to himself, almost like a little boy would. Eddie, a tremendous job into the finals again.
Oh, great. I'm just tickled. Fantastic.
So for the third time this year, Eddie Hill advances to a final round as we get ready now for the other semifinal pairing. It'll be Ray Stutz going against Joe Amato.
What a terrific job Ray Stutz and Tony Ledford have done to get that 4-year-old car this far. It's been brutally hard work for the Joe Amato crew and Tim Richards. That is the 4th engine that has sat behind Joe's helmet. They have exhausted one of the largest inventories in all of drag racing, Gary.
And he's hoping that that engine will get him into the finals for the 5th time this year as he's still looking for his first win there away. And Stutz, who beat Bradley and Muldowney earlier, has a great start, but here comes Amato. 5:28, and Amato advances to the finals. Don Garlits is now with a happy Tim Richards.
What do you think about that 28?
Oh, we're liking that. Well, that's a different motor, and that's our last one.
Pull that right out of the hat.
Yeah, we got fortunate that time, I think.
Thanks.
Indeed, they were fortunate because Ray Stutz had the best reaction time of his entire top fuel career. Watch the car in the far lane. Remember, he hole-shotted Shirley Muldowney? He almost did the same thing to Joe Amato. And at this very moment, Amato knows he's in trouble. He can see every inch of that Ray Stutz car. He's just praying for some of that Tim Richards horsepower, and when it kicks in, it's at top speed of the event, 275 miles per hour.
And a well-deserved cold towel for Joe Amato. He's probably not even aware of the extreme temperatures. He knows he's going to the top fuel final. And for the 3rd time this year, he'll be against Eddie Hill. Amato has lane choice. Despite temperatures of 100 degrees, just part of some 50,000 race fans enjoying this day at the Budweiser Summer Nationals.
And Gary, the Glidden family is involved in an engine change back in the pro stock pit.
Steve, that just shows you how sensitive these guys are to somebody seeing what's in their engine. All what's wrong with the engine that's coming out of that car is a broken lifter. It would only take about 15 minutes to fix it.
But you would have to expose